Emily was a 17-year-old girl from Michigan, quiet and introverted. Most evenings, she'd sit in her room, scrolling on her phone, sometimes brushing her long brown hair in front of her full-length mirror. One evening, while getting ready for bed, she noticed something odd. The reflection in the mirror seemed off. Her movements were a little delayed, and her reflection blinked after she did. She stood still, blinked again. Her reflection followed, but slightly slower. She laughed nervously. "Guess I'm just tired," she muttered, switching off the light and crawling into bed. But the moment her eyes closed, she heard a faint creak from the corner where the mirror stood. The next night, Emily tested the mirror again. This time, she turned her head quickly. Her reflection turned slower, like it was struggling to keep up. A chill ran down her spine. She called her best friend Mia on FaceTime. "Watch this," Emily said. She demonstrated the lag, but on Mia's screen, everything looked normal. "You're scaring yourself," Mia said. "It's just your imagination." Emily wasn't so sure. That night, she covered the mirror with a large bedsheet and turned it to the wall. She tried to ignore the feeling of being watched. 3 nights later, she woke up at 2:44 a.m., gasping. The sheet had fallen off the mirror. The reflection was there, staring directly at her. Not lying down like she was, not asleep. It was standing and smiling. A wide, unnatural grin stretched across its face. Emily screamed and turned on the lights. The mirror showed her normal reflection now, just a frightened girl in bed. She told her parents, but they dismissed it as stress or nightmares. "Maybe no more late-night horror movies," her dad joked. She didn't laugh. She started noticing more changes. The reflection wouldn't always copy her actions. Sometimes it stood still when she moved. Other times it blinked, even when she didn't. One night, she placed her phone on record and stood in front of the mirror. After reviewing the footage, her stomach dropped. In the video, the mirror version of her smiled when she wasn't smiling. Worse, it stepped forward, as if trying to exit. But in real life, Emily didn't move an inch. She slept with the lights on that night. The next evening, her parents went out. She was alone. At exactly 3:00 a.m., she woke to the sound of glass cracking. The mirror had a long, jagged line running down the center. It looked like something had pushed from inside. Emily backed away, eyes wide, and then it stepped out. The reflection, same face, same clothes, but its eyes were completely black, and that same horrifying smile still stretched across its face. Emily screamed, but no one heard her. When her parents returned the next morning, Emily was gone. The police were called. The house was searched, but Emily had vanished. The only clue? The mirror. Now spotless again, and in it, a girl stood. Identical to Emily, but she didn't blink. She didn't move. She only stared, smiling. Today, that mirror still sits in her bedroom, covered by a heavy black sheet. Some say, late at night, if you uncover it, you can still see her, trapped, begging for someone to switch places. But if you stare too long, you might become the next one inside. Jake lived alone in a small, third-floor apartment on the east side of Chicago. A software engineer by day, a horror podcast junkie by night, he wasn't scared easily. Ghost stories were fun to him, nothing more. But that changed on a chilly Thursday night when he received a strange phone call. At exactly 3:33 a.m., his phone rang. He rubbed his eyes, groaning, and checked the screen. The caller ID showed something that made him freeze. It was his own number. He stared at the screen for a second, heart racing. Must be a glitch, right? A scam? He answered. There was silence at first. Then, static. And then, a blood-curdling scream, one that made his skin crawl. But the scream was familiar. It was his. He hung up. The next night, he stayed up, watching the clock. 3:33 AM came, and the phone rang again. Same number. Same scream. He recorded it this time, played it back over and over. It was undeniably his voice, but he hadn't screamed like that, ever. Not yet. The next day he went to the police. They dismissed it. Probably someone spoofing your number, the officer said. But the voice, it's mine, Jake argued. The officer laughed. You sure you're not just listening to too many of those horror podcasts? Jake didn't laugh, because that night, it happened again. Jake set up a second phone to record the call externally. He answered as usual, but this time, there was no scream. Instead, a voice. Trembling, terrified, whispered, "Don't go outside. Don't answer the knock." It was his voice again, quieter, panicked, then a click. Silence. Jake sat frozen. What knock? He stayed up until morning, never leaving his apartment. The next night, the same call. Same warning. The next night, the same call. Same warning, don't answer the knock. And at 3:34 AM, someone knocked on his door. 3 slow knocks. He didn't move. Who would be knocking at that time? He looked through the peephole. No one was there. The following night, Jake barricaded the door with furniture. He kept every light on, pacing the room. The call came at 3:33 AM. He's inside, the voice whispered. Don't turn around. Jake's heart stopped. He stood still, phone trembling in his hand. Inside? He spun around, no one. But the window was open, the one he had locked hours ago. The air had grown cold. His breath turned visible. Something was wrong. He turned back to the phone. It was still on the call. But now, he heard breathing. Heavy. Raspy. The next day, he stayed in a hotel. New location. New SIM. New number. 3:33 AM. It rang. His number again. He didn't answer. But the voicemail came in. He played it. Jake, you have 3 nights left. He dropped the phone. He checked out immediately, moved across the city. But every night, the message updated. 2 nights. Tomorrow. Tonight. He tried smashing the phone, burning it, but it would always reappear on his nightstand, ringing. Every single time. The final night, Jake left his phone behind and ran to his brother's house, turned off all electronics, disconnected everything. At 3:33 AM, nothing. He exhaled in relief. Then his brother's landline rang. They didn't even use it anymore. He picked it up slowly. The voice whispered, "You didn't listen." That was the last time Jake was seen. His brother found the phone, the one Jake had left behind, in the living room. Plugged in, no SIM, no power. But it rang one final time. When he answered, he screamed. Because the voice wasn't Jake's anymore. It was someone else. And it was asking for him. Samantha was a single mother, living with her 8-year-old daughter Lily in a small 2-bedroom apartment in Portland. Life had been quiet since the divorce, and Lily had always been a brave kid, never scared of the dark, never asking to sleep in her mother's bed, not even after thunderstorms. But one night, everything changed. It was around 2:15 AM When Samantha heard Lily's soft voice crying, she got out of bed, rushed to her daughter's room, and opened the door. "Lily, sweetie, are you okay?" she whispered, entering slowly. But Lily wasn't crying. She was sleeping peacefully in her bed, wrapped tightly in her blanket, breathing steadily. Then she heard it again, crying, but not from the bed, from under it. Samantha stood frozen, her heart thudding hard in her chest. The sound was unmistakable now, quiet, desperate sobs coming from beneath the bed. She leaned down slowly, her voice trembling. "Lily?" A tiny broken voice replied, "Mommy, help me. She's not me." Samantha blinked. Her throat dried instantly. What do you mean?" she stammered. Suddenly, a rustling came from the hallway behind her. She turned. Lily was standing in the doorway, sleepy-eyed, confused. "Mommy? What's wrong?" Samantha looked from her daughter back to the bed. The crying had stopped. Samantha didn't sleep the rest of that night. She sat in Lily's room until morning, staring at her peacefully sleeping child. When daylight came, she tried to forget what happened. Maybe she imagined it. Maybe she dreamt the whole thing, but deep inside, she knew she hadn't. Over the next few days, strange things started happening. Lily began acting differently. She avoided mirrors. She flinched when Samantha touched her. And Samantha sat in silence and shut her, and sometimes she would stare into the hallway for minutes without blinking. At night, Samantha heard whispers coming from under the bed. Again, one evening, Samantha got home early and found Lily sitting on the living room floor, holding a crayon and drawing something frantically. Paper after paper. She looked terrified. Samantha asked gently, "What are you drawing, honey?" Lily whispered, "She watches me." She held up a picture. It showed two versions of herself, one smiling and the other with black holes for eyes, crawling under the bed. Samantha tried to comfort her, but Lily pushed her away. "I'm not supposed to talk to you. She said I'll get taken to." Samantha's heart dropped. She lifted Lily into her arms, but her daughter sobbed loudly. "I'm the real one, Mommy. She's the fake. Please don't let her take my place." Samantha froze. Then who was sleeping in the bed last night? That night, Samantha locked the windows, double-checked the doors, and slept with Lily in her bed. Around 2:00 a.m., she heard a thud in Lily's room. Cautiously, she walked in, flashlight in hand. The bed was neatly made, but the closet door creaked open. She shined the light under the bed. Something was there. It looked like Lily. Same pajamas, same messy hair, but her eyes completely black. She reached out. "Mommy, I'm still here." "She took my place. She's not me." The thing under the bed grabbed her arm. Samantha screamed, jerking back as the thing vanished into the shadows. She ran back to her room to grab Lily, but Lily was gone. In her place was a figure, sitting up slowly, smiling. "Hi, Mommy," it said in Lily's voice, but with something twisted behind it. Samantha never saw the real Lily again, but Samantha knew. She knew that the thing pretending to be her daughter wasn't human. She never told anyone, but every night she sits outside Lily's bedroom door, because sometimes she still hears crying from under the bed, begging to come back.